Ha ha. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the webinar, workshop, masterclass, extravaganza. Hi there, I'm Kim Coles. Welcome. I see the comments coming in. Welcome. Hello. This is Dream to Draft, the Dream to Draft masterclass. And it really is all about getting your ideas for your wonderful book, your first book, or your next book, or your next book, wherever you are. This is going to be perfect for you. Getting from that dream, from that idea, from that thought, from that little inkling, that little whisper that says, I'm ready to write a book or my next book, to creating the draft, to actually beginning to get it done. And it's all about starting, it's all about getting it done, getting the first steps done. A lot of people say, oh, I have a dream of being a published author. And that's a great dream. And I've had that dream several times. And I'm going to share my books with you in just a moment. The first one is sitting right here. We'll talk. But it started with a dream. And then I had to get to my first draft. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the steps that you need to have in place in order to bring your book to life. The first steps that you need to have. And we can get you to the published part, but let's just get you to the planning. This is all about planning. So hello, everybody. Welcome. And let me just put this banner up here. So most of you did indeed register for this masterclass, but I also decided to go live at the same time. So if you're seeing this and you're like, what is this that Kim Coles is doing? I didn't even know she was doing this. I have not yet registered. Worry not, because you can register by going to the link that's fitting to come up in just a moment. It's bit.ly/dream to draft. bit.ly/dream to draft. And what you get when you register is you get a chance to get a copy of the book Alchemy plan that I created for you. So it's like a workbook. I won't say on steroids. I'll say a workbook on wings. Woo! A workbook on wings. And there's incredible exercises that I'm going to go through during this process that I want you to have. So the only way you can have that is I need to get you registered for this actual class that you're in right now, for this actual master class that you're in right now. And then when I have your email, when I'm done, I will forward you the workbook. And you know what I should do is should I see if I can pull it up and show you a picture of it? I'm really proud of this. The book Alchemy plan. I wonder if I can do it. I'm very, very fancy like this. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I'm able to share that with you. No, I don't know how to do that. Extra camera, slides, video file, share your screen. Ooh, hold please. Maybe I don't go through all this right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna, there's technology and then there's slowing it down so you could just do what you got to do. So I won't show it to you. Maybe I'll show it to you on my phone if I could find my phone a little bit later on. It's called the Book Alchemy Plan, where we will actually have you be able to go through the exercises with me and deepen the work that we're doing. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to get my phone so I have it nearby. So hang on just a moment, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. You're here in the right place at the Dream to Draft Masterclass. By the way, I recently moved, so you're going to hear me stepping over some boxes as I go get my phone. Hold, please. Entertain yourselves. You better believe that when I show this again, I will cut that part out. This is what it looks like. There it is, the Book Alchemy Plan. And I've created a really wonderful document for you with my shiny nails to deepen the learning for this. So you have to register in order to get that. And so welcome. I see you all popping in. So let's talk about, somebody said share your screen. I want to, but I don't know how to share the screen from the notes in my phone. Does that make sense? I'm doing the best I can with technology. But what I do have for you is a wonderful slideshow, which I'm going to pull up for you right now. So once again, you'll see that scrolling there. If you're coming in, yeah, you can type in the link. Oh, I can type in the link for you. It's bit.ly/ Uh, where are the comments? bit.ly bit.ly / dream to draft. Someone's not wearing her glasses. If you go there, you are able. I wish I knew how to pin that. Do I know how to pin? Do I know how to pin that? I don't know. Okay, there it is for you right there. So go to bit.ly / dream to draft. I have an angel, and my angel is Dr. E.J. Johnson. So some of you know my beloved Dr. E.J. Johnson, who is my life partner and my business partner and my everything partner. And look what he just did. So thank you so much. So when you go to, thank you, EJ. When you go to bit.ly / draft, dream to draft, if you have not yet registered. So if you've already registered for this masterclass, you will already receive this. If you're watching this live, and I'll try to remind you all during the presentation, this is what you're going to get. It's a deepening of the knowledge of what we're working on today. And, I don't believe in boring presentations. How could I, just put up a webinar that's very, standard and like everybody else's? No. I like mine to be special. Not only in sometimes looking for the document that you can't find, not only getting up and actually going crossing the planes of all the boxes that are in our new, beautiful new apartment, or having the wonderful Dr. EJ in the background show you. So can you scroll up one more time? The book Alchemy plan is all about creating a foundation, finessing that foundation, and then flourishing with your plan. And tonight you're going to get the first part of that. This is going to be the foundation when and if we decide to work together. And just so you know, in full transparency, I will be making you a beautiful offer for us to work together and play together and get your book out of your head and out of your heart and onto the page and into the hearts and minds and hands of those who you are destined to help and serve and create a legacy for. You'll get the other two pieces of it. So tonight is about the foundation of turning your book from a dream to a draft. Let me now open up my pretty slides and let's get it going. It says the page is not found. Did you go to bit.ly / dream to draft? Whoever the LinkedIn user who did that, thank you for putting that in for me. And maybe Ebony can find it. Those of you who are helping this out, thank you so much. Jewel and Valerie, and thank you so much. Oh, so excited for you to be here too. Deborah Sue, welcome. Dream to Draft, a masterclass in bringing your book to life. And this is whether it's your first book or your next book. This is what you need to write it, to get it out of your head and your heart and into the world. Now, I need to go somewhere else to actually work my slides. Hang on just a second. So, okay, what? Hold on just a moment. Oh gosh, that's not going to work. Hold, please. You know what I love? One of the things I love about Dr. EJ is he's in the background going, what's going on? Can you see my slides, everyone? Hang on just a second. I got to move things out of the way. Okay. Can you see the next slide? Has the slide changed for everybody? Very good. Here's what you're in store for tonight. If you're here with me right now, or if you're watching the replay, we're going to talk about cultivating confidence as an author. It's very important to have your confidence up. And tonight, I'm going to help you get your confidence up as an author, as a potential author, or as you're getting ready to write your second book, your third book, your fourth book, or whatever it takes. We're going to talk about finding compelling stories. Those of you who know me know that I'm a storyteller and I love storytelling, and the stories in your book are central to captivating your readers. We're going to be talking about understanding your ideal reader, as I really like to refer to them as your soulmate reader. This is the person that your book is meant for. And I'm going to bust a myth for you tonight in just a little bit. I have some exercises for you in the book plan, as we talked about the book Alchemy plan that I have for you. We have some wonderful exercises to really get this out of your head and heart and into the world. We say it's a workbook, but it's really a plan. And I do have a special offer for you, and I'll even leave some space for questions and answers. So I want you to just sort of think about this for just a minute. True or false? True or false for these? You get a little test right now. Writing books will make you rich. True or false? I can't see the comments right now. Hang on just a second. True or false? Do you think writing a book will make you rich? What do you think? Somebody said yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Can you see the slides? Or yes, ma'am, you think that the book will make you rich? Well, it's kind of a trick question. Oh, good. I see. It's a trick question because it's false that the writing of the book will make you rich. It's what you do with the book. It's the marketing of the book. It's creating an author platform. And that's one of the things I want to really lock in for you tonight, is that it's not just about writing a book or getting a book published. I posted something about this a little while ago, and somebody says, I've got 8 books on Amazon. It's great that you have written 8 books. And what are you doing to create a platform for yourself, to create a lasting legacy, a place where people can read your books, but also that's just the beginning of how they get to work with you and how they get to be in your world. So it's a trick question. The writing of the book won't make you rich. It's what you do with it that will enrich your life. The next question I have is, you can use AI to write your book. And, there's a lot of buzz, and maybe you don't know that there's a thing called artificial intelligence. It's been with us for a very long time. And now there's quite a bit of a buzz about people using artificial intelligence to write their book. There are actually programs that you can sign up for. You're going to write your book in a weekend or write your book in 20 minutes. And can you use it? It's kind of a trick question too. Of course you can use artificial intelligence to write your book. But will it be really coming from your heart? Will it really be coming from your life experiences? Artificial intelligence don't know nothing about you. You have to bring you to the work. And so I'm not saying that I'm against artificial intelligence and, copy, what is it? Chat GBT and all the platforms now that are pushing and available to you to be able to use to enrich your work. But if you don't bring your unique perspective to that, then it really won't work for you. I truly believe in going old school, and then you use the AI to assist you if necessary. But it's got to start with you and your stories. Artificial intelligence doesn't know who you are. And one testament to that, I'll say, is I did go into artificial intelligence. I went to ChatGPT and asked it, who is Kim Coles? Write me a bio for Kim Coles. And I said nothing else. And I will tell you that it got 65% of it right, but so many of the facts were absolutely incorrect. So, that you've heard this phrase before, if you're been watching the artificial intelligence space, that garbage in, garbage out. So somehow it kicked out garbage for me, maybe because I didn't give it enough information about me, but it went and scrolled a bunch of stuff and then it made up the rest. We don't want that for you in your business and in writing your book. We really want you at the heart of your book. So this is kind of a trick question. And the third question is, true or false? You need a big publisher. True or false? Tell me what you think. Good evening. True or false? True or false? It's also kind of a trick question because there are many ways to get your book out into the world. There is big traditional publishing. There's also hybrid publishing. And then there's self-publishing where you can do it yourself. So there's more than one way to get your book out into the world. And there's folks who stop because they go, well, if Random House or, name some of the other big ones, I was going to say Smith & Wesson. That's a gun company. Not Smith & Wesson. What's the one that begins with an S? I can't think of it. Simon & Schuster. If Simon & Schuster, please, it is not Smith & Wesson. It is Simon & Schuster. If they're not producing my book, then I don't want to do it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, contraire. There are many ways to get your book out into the world. And like I said, there is the big traditional publishers, and I've had that experience. There's the hybrid experience, which I've done with my last 3 books, and there's self-publishing, and you can do it yourself. Okay. Somebody's laughing. Somebody's laughing. All right. Very good. So I just want to kind of get that out of the way. So why write a book? EJ, did you do that or did I do that? Find you somebody who's on your side in all respects. So, why write a book? Well, there are several reasons why you could, and from my perspective, should write a book, especially if you are a business owner, a speaker, a coach, if you an entrepreneur, if you're a visionary leader. There are some really compelling reasons for why you should write a book, and why a book is a really wonderful thing to have in your arsenal. Um, and okay, I did that or you did that. I don't know. And here's some of the reasons why. Having a book really establishes your authority and credibility. You know, you think of how proud people are when they say, "Oh, I've written a book. I've written 8 books." That person who texted me back and said, "I've written 8 books. My books are on Amazon right now." I could feel their pride and feel their understanding of what an accomplishment it was. And it builds your credibility and it sets you up as an expert. It sets you up as someone who has something powerful to say. From my perspective, something powerful to teach, a beautiful wisdom to put out into the world. And that opens the door for so many other things, which is why I said that writing a book is not what makes you rich. It enriches your life by all the other things you're going to do with it. It's going to increase your visibility. There's nothing more delightful than being able to say, I'm a published author. And it's, again, not about the vanity of it all, but it's about um, the folks on the other side of hiring you or asking you to come and speak, or the client that wants to hire you as a coach, to understand that you are now visible. You now have a credibility in your in with your words, and with your intention that you've put in the world. Yes, it does help you create additional income. I've been at many speaking engagements and sold out of all of my books at the back of the table. And there have been times when, maybe the meeting planner didn't quite have the fee that I wanted for my speaking engagement. They just didn't have the budget for it. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna come and sell all my books. And I've really supplemented my income with selling my books, and then later selling my products and services. And so it really does help generate additional income. It's a great marketing tool. You can get booked on podcasts and TV shows and radio shows. Are we even still doing radio anymore? And radio shows, and you get featured in various media outlets because you're an author, because you're seen as an expert. And all this all blends together in help you to become more visible and more credible. Again, there's big opportunities. There's opportunities not only for media, for more visibility, but also for collaborations. There are people who will find your book and go, "Oh, she's the perfect person to talk to, or to have come and speak at an event, or to come and be a professor for a semester at this particular school, because this is what they teach." So all kinds of opportunities will pop up because people read your work and are called to what you've put into the world. It's also personal growth. There is a point of pride that you get when you go, "Ooh, that's done. I did that. I sat up every Saturday, from 2 to 4 for the last 6 months and wrote my book. I did that." It will put you through a beautiful journey of personal growth. And it's legacy building. Remember a few minutes ago, I talked about building your author plan, your expert plan, your expert empire can be built from this experience. And we still live in a society where, I know everything's online, but we still love books, don't we? Those of us who love books love books. And there's something really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not only precious and special, but prized about a book, a treasure that someone has taken the time to write. I told you that we recently moved, and the thing that I had the hardest time getting rid of was books. That was the hardest thing. Okay, I can pare down on the clothing, I can pare down on the shoes, but my beautiful books I haven't opened in years. But That was really hard to get rid of. And those of you who've seen me go live before, I had a bookshelf that just went on for miles and miles. That was the hardest thing to get rid of, and it's going to be the hardest thing to find a place to put in this new apartment. The bookshelves are the first thing I brought with me. So it's legacy building. It is indeed cathartic, as somebody just said. It is sharing your experience, and it is your legacy. It's part of your legacy. Okay, moving on to the next slide here. Oh, there it is. I had it all on one slide. It's all fancy how that's working. So who am I? Hi there, I'm Kim Coles, and if you don't know me, allow me to introduce myself. I'm an actress, I'm a comedian, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author. I'm a 4-time best-selling author, and I'm fitting to show you the pictures of all my books right now. And I have also become a publisher. I decided a couple of years ago to open my very own publishing company, which I call, wait for it, Hot Coals. Hot Coals. But it's not really hot. It's haute, as in Haute, like haute couture. But you can't say hot coals unless you want to say haute coals. So Hot Coals Publishing, I just opened it a couple of years ago, and I'm so excited because I get a chance to coach and help shape and be involved in holding the hands of amazing authors and authors to be like you and watching their works come through. So I've helped over 90 authors become best-selling authors also. So this is a copy of my very first book. Can you see this? This is the one that I had a traditional publisher for. It's called I'm Free, But It'll Cost You. I cannot tell you the fight that I had with them in order to get this cover. I had to pay for that photo shoot myself. We'll talk. Book number 1. Then here comes, oh, by the way, this is the soft cover. I made it all the way to paperback. My first book was hardcover, and we sold all the way through to that. Very exciting. My next book was self-published by the manager that I was working with at the time, the PR firm publishing. She had her own publishing company. And so this was the second book. It was called The Gratitude Journal. It was when I started booking lots of speaking engagements, and I needed a book to sell at the back of the room. And it was just a gratitude journal with full of ideas and quotes and space for you to be able to write your ideas. And so that was my first time working with a hybrid publisher, the PR firm. And then came, wait, let me do it in order. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'll start with 2. 2 books called Open Your Gifts. Open Your Book Gifts 1 and Open Your Gifts 2. The first one had 22 authors. The second one had 42 authors. And I was able to coach all of these amazing souls to share their story, their powerful stories of how they have learned to share their gifts with the world. And then finally, my first imprint, Hot Coals, published the third in the series of the Gifts books. And this one has 30 authors, the Wisdom Gifts book. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. These are all 30 people with 30 amazing stories of how they have found the gifts, the wisdom in their gifts. And so all told, that's over 90 people that I've coached with just in the book space alone. So this is what I love to do, and what keeps me smiling, whether or not I'm on a TV set, which I enjoy very much. Maybe you recently saw me on Days of Our Lives as Crazy Nurse Whitley. Don't worry. Yes, I kidnapped a man. Yes, I drugged a few people. The FBI has taken me away and put me in a crazy house, so I'm okay now. The world is safe. The world is safe. So thank you so much for that. Just wanted to give you just a little bit of, what I'm up to and why this is so important to me. So let's talk about cultivating confidence as an author. This is one of the 3 steps. One of the 3 steps I promised you are the key to write your book. And some people just sit down and write, but I really want you to have this, this foundational work. Excuse me, take a sip. Martha Pruitt says she saw me. Yeah, they put me away finally. I want you to cultivate your confidence as an author. And there are, hold on just a second. EJ, are you switching the slides, or is my doing it working at all? Okay. So weird. I'm not seeing it on screen. So can you switch to the next one? There we go. So the journey to confidence. Hmm. Put my cursor. It is on. Yeah, it is. I don't know. That's so weird. I'm doing it, but it's not. It's not clicking over. That's so weird. Let's talk about the journey to confidence. Um, I think there are fears that people have. Like, I don't want to write my book. What if? What if? What if? And let me help fill in some of the blank on some of those what ifs. Um, I'm worried about the time and the time commitment. Well, here's a solution. We're gonna talk about these fears, and I'm gonna give you a solution to each one of these, okay? If that's all right with you. So the first one is time commitment. I don't think I have enough time. Well, the solution is you just break it down. You just chunk it down and fit it into your lifestyle. And so I'm working with some clients right now. What we did was we had them create a commitment. 2 hours on a Saturday. Thursday after I've put the kids to bed is my book writing time. I'm gonna, Sunday afternoon after I've finished my day and I've gone to church and I've come back and I've made the dinner, I'm gonna go out in the garden and write for an hour and a half. I mean, all you do is you just break it down and you just schedule it in. And that's important because we all have busy lives, unless you're going to go off to a writer's retreat. And that's amazing if you can. But in case you can't, you just break it down and you schedule it and you make a commitment to yourself and you stick to it. So maybe your fear is, I don't have the writing skills. I don't know how to. Well, what you do is you educate yourself, or you hire a coach, or you get the help that you need to fill in the blanks. In any area of our life that we have a giant question mark because we think we don't know how to do it, you can support yourself with the tools and the support that's out there for you. And like I said, it's either you can educate yourself, you can take a class, you can hire a coach. By the way, just spoiler alert, I will be offering you a way for me to be able to help you get this out of your, as I said, love to say, out of your head and out of your heart. So you may not need to have the writing skills if you lean on methods that up level your writing skills. It just takes time and energy. That's all. You got that. You got it. Maybe you have a fear of criticism. What are people going to say? And my favorite one that I always get is like, how do I tell my story without telling on my business? And what's going to happen when I tell my story and people are going to have something to say? Well, I like to look at this. The solution I'm fitting to offer you is really about, is it fact or is it feedback? See, it's really just a mindset shift. Whenever you have haters or people who are critics or critical about you or your work or any area of your life, you get to look at it through the mindset of, well, is that a fact? Is it really true that I'm a horrible person because you said I'm a horrible person? Or is that feedback? And the feedback could be, that's just their perspective. That's not truth. There's a friend of mine who always says truth with a capital T. That's not truth. So when you write your book, and if you're writing a story that is difficult for someone to read because it's about them, but if it's your truth, you get to write it. And if they don't like it, or if it feels uncomfortable to them, and they criticize you for it, or they critique you for it, you get to look through the lens and go, is what they're saying about me a fact, or is it merely feedback? Feedback, well, maybe I did embellish that story a little bit. Or feedback, no, I told the entire truth and you have a problem with me telling the truth. And I'm telling my truth because it's going to help so many other people. And I don't think I put that here, but I really want to, add that to the space here, that sometimes we want to get our story out in the world because we just want to be witnessed. I want people to know what I've been through, and they need to know that I'm a survivor, and they need to know that I lived, I existed, I was here. And that's one way to look at getting your books and your products and your services or anything you want to put out into the world. But when you make it about the people that you will serve, the people that you want to, that will be changed because you decided to do this, then it becomes even more powerful. It becomes more than just being witnessed that you went through something, and it becomes your legacy. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. Okay. By the way, I want to remind anyone who's popping in, if you're popping in live, if you did not register for this masterclass, I want you to know that there's a bonus. You receive the bonus book alchemy plan. And the only way to get your book alchemy plan is to go to bit.ly/dream to draft. And if somebody wanted to pop that into the chat for me again, because I'll mess things up. Just go to www.bit.ly/dream to draft. And that way you're going to get a copy of this beautiful book alchemy plan for you, which with deepening exercises and all that, because I wanted to make sure you all have that. So, and if you register for this, by the way, you will get the replay and you'll get an email with that as soon as I'm done here. Okay. All right. Very good. So some of the other fears that we have are uncertainty about the process. Well, the solution is you just research. You just learn what you need to learn. You get the research. You get the knowledge that you need, and accountability. I'm a big believer in accountability groups or accountability buddy when doing a project as powerful as your book. You want to have someone who you can check in with, or some people that you can check in with, and you keep each other accountable to the dream that you have, to the promise that you've made to the world to get your book out in the world. Okay. Maybe you have a lack of clarity. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, how to start. Where do I start? What do I do? Well, one of the solutions is mind mapping. I'm a big fan of writing out a mind map or writing out a list of all that's needed to get something to happen, to get something out of you. And so mind mapping is a really wonderful way. You all have seen those beautiful maps where you start with the idea in the center, and then you have all the offshoots of all the ideas and possibilities and nuggets that you have. And then it's all there for you in a map of sorts, or a comprehensive place where everything is kept. Or I'm a big fan of a to-do list. So if you don't know what to do, you just start with the first thing you start with. And we're talking about that tonight. This is the foundations part of the 3-part system of getting your book out into the world. Then there's the lack of confidence. I'm going to share some of my favorite affirmations with you in just a little bit. Privacy concerns. Well, like I said before, it's your truth. You get to share what you want to share. And there are ways to share your story without sharing all your business. I've told many stories of many moments in my life that I didn't want people to know every single detail. They don't need to know every single detail. They need to know the pieces that will help them change their lives. And there are absolute ways. And I like to call myself a master at being able to share a story without sharing all aspects of it, because you want to share the feeling of it, the lessons that you got from it, the wisdom that you got from it. And that's what really, really matters. So there you have that. Writer's block. Well, you change your environment. You commit to what you want to get on the page. Remember, we talked about it a minute ago. You make a time commitment. Writer's block. You create a new environment for yourself. Some of us, like, I need to get outside. If I spend too much inside, I can't think anymore. So I change my environment. I take my notebook and go sit under a tree, under my old lemon tree. Those of you who know me, I had a beautiful lemon tree at my old place. Change your environment, change your perspective. And there's also a skill, a thing that you can do called free writing. You just sit and you don't put reins on your brain. Take the reins off your brain and you just free write. And you allow spirit, source, the ideas to just come to you, and you just write them down without any filter whatsoever. And you look back and you'll see magic on the page often. Okay. And then we have maintaining consistency. We just set your goals and you set up your accountability, like we talked about. You set goals for yourself and you get very, get serious with yourself. You get serious with yourself, what it is you want to do. And you set consistent goals for yourself that you keep up with. And then there's also the fear of failure and the fear of success. And this one is also really tricky because they're really two sides of the same coin. There are people who actually have fear of failure. Oh my goodness, what if it doesn't work? What if what I put out into the world Nobody wants to read it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to touch it. And there are people who also have, what happens if it does make it? What's going to happen? Am I going to have to change friends? Am I going to have to move away? Am I going to become so rich and famous that my life is going to change? I'm just going to. So we have these, at the bottom line of it is that there's fear. And what I'm going to say to you here, the solution is to reframe the perspective. So if you're afraid that it's not going to work, what if it does? If you reframe, what if it's so successful that what if it's so successful that it changes your life for the better? It's about reframing your perspective and embracing success, embracing that you have been given a beautiful gift, the gift of your life, the gift of the idea of wanting to write a book or your next book. And it would not be placed in you, it would not be placed in your realm if the divine didn't want that book to come through for you. And so you here on this earthly plane are going to have to deal with the fears and knock away that which clutters up the space for that book to come through and come out into the world. And so I want to encourage anyone who's thinking about it, wanting to do this, to just go for it, because it came through you for a reason. Oh, am I changing that myself? Oops. Yeah, it came through to you for a reason. I hope you all are seeing. Can you see the confidence screen? Yeah, there it is. I want to share a secret with all of you. Can I share a secret? I'm going to share my favorite confidence secret. You want to know my confidence secret? Because I'm not always confident. Who is? I don't care. Name anybody. Name anyone that you just like, oh my goodness, Oprah must be confident all the time. Guarantee you she's not. She's fabulous. Don't get me wrong. But she's human. She has moments of doubt, moments of questioning, moments of, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Does this look good on me? Is this cute on me? You have your moments. The most confident of us has a moment or two where you're just like, I don't know. I'm going to share my favorite secret, and it's borrowing confidence from yourself. By the way, this is in the workbook, the plan that I have for you. So when I send it to you, you'll be reminded. I want you to think of a time where you excelled, a time when things were just working, or things worked out, or you figured something out, or you made that happen. You made it happen, whatever it was. I made that happen, child. I do that. I sometimes get lost, and, I can't always look at the GPS while I'm driving. You really want to focus on the road. And there are times when I'm just going to use my intuition, and I'm just going to get where I'm supposed to go. I kind of know the way. And you get there and you go, "Ooh, I did that." Yes. Borrow from that moment. Because if you have ever been excellent at anything in your life, and you wouldn't be sitting here if you hadn't had a moment or two or 12 or a billion in your life, depending on how old you are. The older you are, the more you've had moments where you excelled, where you were successful, where you achieved something, where you surprised yourself. Borrow from that. Because if you did it then, you can do it now. If you knocked something out of the park and knew that you weren't sure that you would, but you did it, that means you can do this too. I call it borrowing confidence. I think of times where I've made something happen. I succeeded at something, and I didn't even have I may not even thought about what the outcome would be. And the outcome was like, whoa, borrow that. Borrow your whoa moments from yourself. They belong to you. They're already yours. It's already in you. And so I wanted to share that with you, that you borrow confidence for anything, whether it's writing the book or anything else. If you did something great before, you can do it again and again and again. It's already in you. Borrow it from yourself. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. My next slide is coming up now. EJ, you're producing this. I appreciate you. It's like a TV show. Next slide, please. Or is it me? Oh, there it is. Thank you. Oh, okay. Maybe I just do that. Did that work? So here comes the author's confidence builder. Oh, and by the way, There'll be space on your in your plan, your book Alchemy plan, for some affirmations. I have some really cool affirmations for you. So you'll go to the exercise there. But I want to share some of my favorite affirmations with you. Are you all affirmation folks? Do you like affirmations? Do you write them or look in the mirror and say them? So I just want to share some of my favorites for with you. So my voice is valuable and unique. Every word I write brings me closer to my truth. I trust the story within me and I give it permission to flow freely. Challenges and blocks are temporary. My passion and purpose is eternal. Or my passion and purpose are eternal. What? I am constantly growing and evolving as a writer. My stories have the power to inspire, heal, and transform. I'm going to be talking about transformation a lot, really. You think you're just writing a book. You're writing a pathway for someone to have transformation, and it will be transforming for you too. I write with authenticity. Oh, that wasn't an affirmation. That was just me talking. I write with authenticity, and my words resonate with those who need them. I believe in my vision and I persevere even in moments of doubt. Every time I write, I honor my gift and my readers. I am deserving of success and recognition and all the joys that come from sharing my work. So I hope some of those will help you. And I see somebody here said somebody said more of a Bible verse than affirmation. Okay, more of a Bible verse than an affirmation, gal. Whatever it works. Because what these do, what ancient texts like the Bible, what affirmations do, what any book that you read that is, I would say, spiritual in nature, is it shifts your perspective and gets you reconnected to source, God, source, the Most High, however you language it, God, Goddess, however you language it, spirit, gets you more connected to it, to that, which in turn gets you more connected to yourself, because that's what you come from. That's the stuff that you're made of. Okay. So somebody said something funny. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Oh, please post those. Okay, I will. I'll come back and post afterwards. Yes. And are they in the workbook? They are not in the workbook, but I will post those for you. And that was a LinkedIn user, so I will post those on LinkedIn. Whosoever you are, the answer is yes. So let's talk now about, did I go too far? Finding compelling stories for your book. This is part 2. You're going to find compelling stories. I told y'all before, I'm a storyteller and I love story, and I always have. Me telling my stories is just as important as me hearing your stories. When I'm hearing people's stories, I'm there with you. I want to know, how did you feel? What did you say? What did you do? What happened? Then what happened? Then what happened? Then what happened? What did you learn? And that's what you're going to want your readers to do too. And so let me just share some tips with you on crafting compelling story and what makes a story really resonate with your readers. Well, here's some tips that you can jump into, and or places to look for stories. You go like, I don't know what stories to tell. You can recall your stories and your personal experiences. You recall sources of inspiration, personal experiences, observations from the world around you. You can use historical events. Maybe something was happening at a time that you were born, or around the time that you were a little kid, and how it affected you, and even lessons learned from others. And listen, your life is rich and rife with these experiences all the time. And I'm going to give you all an example that I hadn't really prepared, but here goes. Last night, or the time of the recording, those of you watching live, last night, my beloved Dr. EJ and I went to the Hollywood Bowl, and we got to see Peabo Bryson and Gladys Knight in concert. By the way, Gladys, let me start. Peabo looks and sounds amazing, and Gladys is 79 and looks like she did when she was 39. I mean, it was incredible. Well, I remembered, and I was able to sit and tell EJ that I remember that Gladys Knight played Overton's mother on Living Single. Anybody who watched Living Single and watched the wedding episodes, then we did 2 episodes with them, with our parents. He got Gladys Knight and Antonio Fargas. I got Denise Nicholas and Ron O'Neill. But Gladys Knight came and did our show. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got a chance to meet her. But wait, it gets even better. Here's the story. At the time that we were doing the show, I was having vocal cord issues. I was having polyps on my vocal cords. I was having really a hard time. I was losing my voice a lot. There was a lot going on. And the vocal coach that I had at the time said, I was telling him that I had to go to rehearsal because Gladys Knight was at work, this week. And he says, you should ask Gladys Knight what she does to warm up her vocal cords. Because he had said to me, part of the problem is that your vocal cords, you're using them and you're blowing them out and you're not warming up the pipes. Warm up the pipes. Ask Gladys what she does. So at rehearsal, I was like, excuse me, Miss Gladys, may I ask you a question? I'm having such a good time with you. She said, what is it, honey? I said, what do you do to warm up your voice before you sing? And she said, oh, honey, I don't warm up my voice. I just sing. I was like, oh, what? Oh, child, I'd never warm up. She said, maybe I should, but I don't need to. She's Gladys Knight. She does not need to warm up the pipes. She's Gladys Knight. And so watching her in concert last night, I was like, I wonder if that's still her way. That she just like, I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to put on these pretty makeup and wearing heels at 79. Heels, looking fabulous. And she came out and sang for thousands of people. And I know the story of this. I don't need to warm up. I just go out there and sing, girl. Now, my vocal coach didn't like that very much. He said, not you, Kim. Kim Coles, you're going to have to warm up because you don't know what you're doing. Gladys Knight knows what she's doing. Well, so this is now a personal story, a personal inspiration that I have, a personal experience that I have that I now can share in whatever way. I'm sharing it with you all tonight. And maybe I'll turn that into a lesson. Maybe the lesson in this case is if you're really a master at what you do, you don't need to warm up. You just show up and do it. There are areas of my life, talk about confidence building. There are areas in my life where I don't need to warm up. If you said, Kim Coles, you're wanted at the comedy club up the street right now, I go, really? All right, let me put some lip gloss on. I'm on. Because I have mastery in that area. Maybe Gladys is saying I have mastery in that area and I don't need to warm up. I'm sure there are master singers who do, but not Gladys Knight, honey. And so where in my life do I already have mastery? And that could be a lesson for you too. Where in your life do you not need to warm up? There's some of you here right now. If I said, I'm so hungry, can you make me something in the kitchen? It would not be a frozen meal. You would go in the kitchen and cook me something from scratch because you're already warmed up. See how I turned that into a lesson? By the way, I call that story alchemy. It's taking whatever lesson you have, whatever experience you have, and alchemizing it into a way to help others. It sounds like a story about me. It sounds like me bragging that I got to meet Eartha Kitt and Antonio Fargas and the late, great Ron O'Neill and Denise Nicholas. And they were all lovely. Or I can turn it into a story of how this master told me, I don't need to warm up. I just go sing for the people. All right. Good. By the way, I saw your comment and Eartha Kitt was amazing to work with. I'll come and tell you a story about that some other time. She was wonderful. It was quite a treat. I have a long story about her. She's fabulous. So the question for you is what makes your story resonate with other people? How can you make your story? I made it resonate with you just now by asking you to look in your life where you're already a master, where you don't need to warm up for nothing. You just need to show up. You ain't got to warm up. You just need to show up. Somebody write that down. So I could teach that as a lesson. You don't have to warm up. You just have to show up. Where in your life are you already like that? That's part of the borrowing confidence. All right, very good. Let me go to the next slide here, or EJ will do it for me. I don't see it on it's so weird. It's not switching for me here. Hang on. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to mine your stories. You're going to go digging in your stories. I don't know. The GIF is not working for me, EJ. This is a cute little GIF of this little creature mining the stories. Mine your life. Go digging in your life. Become a prospector in your life for your stories, your experiences, your life lessons, and start writing them down. Start remembering them. And by the way, on the plan that I'm going to send all of you, you will receive, when you go to Dream to Draft, bit.ly/dream to draft. I'll give you some prompts to get you thinking about stories that you can mine. Some of my favorite prompts for mining, like things you hadn't thought about in a long time, here's a good one for you. What were you like as a kid? What were you like as a kid? There's some jewels in that relate to who you are to this day. I was a super curious kid. I'm certain that it's the reason why I love stories to this day. Now, you could say I'm nosy, or you could just say that I was so curious. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to experience more. What were you like as a kid will be a clue to some beautiful stories. And I don't mean just, the difficult ones, because nobody gets through childhood without some challenging experience, and some more challenging than others. In my case, my childhood was really pleasant until my parents got divorced. And that was like, what is this? Or until I had my first breakup with my first little boyfriend. The first heartbreak is like, what? I'll never live again, until you learn, right? And so go digging for what you were like as a child, and remember what you enjoyed watching, what you enjoyed doing, and let it be clues to some beautiful stories. Another, I would say story prompt that I love is, who were your mentors? Who was your favorite mentor? What did you learn from them? What did they teach you, and how did they teach you this, something that remains with you today? Some of you have heard me tell the story of my 6th grade teacher, that after I went to 7th grade, I started acting up and hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I remember she stopped a group of 3 of us in the hallway. And forgive me, I'm going to do an all-purpose Caribbean accent. She was like, "What are all you girls doing? Look at you. Pull down your skirt. You look like a whore." She called one girl. She had taken her skirt and rolled it up so it was like a mini skirt. I mean, it was the 70s and we were all wearing minis, but your uniform is not supposed to be mini. You look like a whore. Pull down your skirt. And you're a liar. You don't tell the truth. I don't like that you're a liar. You're false. You're false. And she looked at me and, "Kimberly Coles, you can do better than this. I'm so disappointed in you." I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. She's calling this girl fast. She's calling this one a liar, but she's disappointed in me. What did I do? And I went and talked to her, and she said to me, "You are not living up to your potential. You're out here hanging with these fast girls. You're smart. You're so smart. Why are you hanging with these girls?" And what that meant to me, and the story, perspective wise, I could turn this into a story where I could demonize her for calling me names or calling us out. Or I could go, wait a minute, she sees greatness in me that I don't even see in myself. And that becomes the story that I now tell. The understanding that you never know who's watching you and watching your excellence and rooting for you in a way that you can't even root for yourself. Now, that's how I took that mentor story and made it work for me, and made it work as a life goal to show up and be the best version of myself, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's going to experience you. Thank you for saying it's a good accent. Thank you. Me know. So who are your favorite mentors? And there'll be some other prompts on the page for you. I just want you to really just get these ideas. And this is for the person who says, well, I don't know if I have a story to tell. Oh my goodness, you have 1,000 of them. Every challenge, every up, every down, everything that you have overcome to become becomes your story, part of your story. Okay, let me go to the next one. Did that switch for me? So mind your stories. And here's some wonderful ways to unearth your stories. You just journal, start writing. Interview others, interview family members who remember parts of a story differently than you do. Maybe you were a kid and you couldn't see something a particular way. They saw it a very different way. Start interviewing them, get their history and their anecdotes and antidotes and anecdotes. Revisit your old diaries, letters, or photos. Explore the universal themes of love or loss or conflict or transformation. When have you had those things in your life? When have you had those things go away in your life? Personal contexts and perspectives. These are all the stories that you can use. And like I said, when I work with people in my story alchemy process, I can help turn those stories into gold. And the gold is for your people. It's for the people who will read your beautiful book. Oh, I just changed the slide myself. Did I do that? Did I do that? Okay. Here are some pro tips for you. Where did that go? How can I see that? Pro tips. Use emotion in your story. Tell how it made you feel. Taste, smell, feel, the whole feel of things, the whole experience of things. The more emotion that you share in your stories, the more people will relate with you. If you integrate and evoke feelings for people, they will resonate even more with your book, with your writing, with even your content that you put out on the social medias. People will resonate more the more emotion that you put in. So make it relatable. Give vivid imagery. I told you the story of Gladys Knight. I told you how amazing she looked last night. I not only told you that, but I told you she came and worked on Living Single, and who else I was surrounded by. I was surrounded with greatness that week. Dynamic characters. Who are the characters in your story? Your crazy uncle, your mama who's a fool, all of that. Share all of that. Conflict and resolution. How you've come through something and come to understand something new. Make your stories as universal as possible. And I know that we all have stories that are really important to us, but the more you're able to open it up and make it a bigger perspective for others, the better. And you're allowed to take people on an emotional roller coaster, pull people in and take them this way and take them that way. And wouldn't it have been amazing for Gladys Knight to actually say, oh yeah, let me show you the exercises I do. Me. No, I got none of that. She's like, I don't do nothing, girl. Hopefully I took you on an emotional roller coaster because I was going to tell you what Gladys Knight told me she does to warm up the pipes. She does nothing. God warms up her pipes before she comes out to sing. There you have it. And so this is just some of the ways that you can, techniques that you can evoke emotion in your stories. Very good. All right. We have a story discovery guide for you, and that will be in the book Alchemy Plan. And anybody who's come in late, don't forget, you just go to, thank you. You have to register in order to receive this beautiful guide that I've created for you. And it's just the first part of 3 parts to getting your book out of you and into the world. We're just dealing with the foundation here, folks. Just the foundation. All right. And moving on, you want to understand your soulmate reader. I'm going to understand that I need to take a sip of water. Hold, please. I see that you all are writing about your silent cheerleader. Oh, I like that, Leslie. Silent cheerleader. So let's get to, am I up to part 3? Is it part 4? I have so much for you. I thought I was going to do this in 60 minutes. No, stay with me. Stay with me. This is good stuff. Okay. I want you to understand your soulmate reader. Now, let me just say this. I refer to a soulmate reader. I use the term soulmate instead of ideal. Those of us who are in business, there's a lot of talk around understanding who your ideal customer is. Who is the person that is meant to buy your books, your products, your services, to hire you, to be in your space? Who's ideal? I take it a little bit further and I talk about your soulmate reader. This is the person that when they pick up your book and they go to read it, they resonate deeply. They see themselves, or they see themselves as they could be, because of the life that you have led, because of the experiences that you have had, because of the wisdom and lessons that you are now sharing, that they see themselves not only as themselves and as they could be, but even more elevated because of the work that you've put out into the world. I really want you to be clear that your book is a beautiful way to help cause transformation in the world. And that's what makes the world go round, right? A lot of crazy stuff happening all out there, but you get your words down, your legacy down, your, forever and forever. I told you the last thing I wanted to get rid of were my books. We had a big garage sale and I very conveniently left my books inside the house because I kind of want to take these with me. And those books were all written by people like you who had something powerful to teach and share and put into the world. So it's very important to know who that person is. And I'm going to bust a myth for you right now. Right now, I'm going to bust a myth for you. And you may not like what I'm fitting to say. Your book is not for you. Your book is not for you. I'm going to go further. Your book is not about you. Ouch. Yeah, it's not. Your book is not about you. Now, it may be about you. It may be for you because you wrote it. And yes, I do have one. Yes, that was a gift from Living Single. What? Book is not about you. The book is about your soulmate reader. And I would even say that whether we work together or not, whether or not you decide to say yes with what I'm going to share with you in a few minutes, whether or not you say yes, if you're thinking about writing a book, do me a favor and start with them. Start with your people, because your people are saying something very specific. You know what they're saying? They're saying, with him. Have y'all heard this phrase before? With him. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And it doesn't mean that people are selfish or weird or like, why should I buy your book? What's in it for me? Well, people are spending money, their hard-earned money on your book. And by the way, you can take this even further. Your products, your goods, your services, the course that you want to write, the speakers. Oh my goodness, you will change the world if you stop thinking about yourself and think about the audience. What's in it for me, or what's in it for them? Make it about them. And that's going to be one of the biggest keys to your success. Start with that in mind. So yes, they're your stories, but why are you telling the stories? Who's it going to help? Yes, they're your stories, but how will your experience and how what you've come through make a difference for someone else? That it becomes more, and I mentioned this earlier here, it becomes more than just a witness. Witness what I've been through. I've been through a lot. I need to tell the story. You do need to tell the story, and then teach me how to avoid doing it that way, or teach me what you learned along the way so I can change my course. Save me, help me, teach me something new. Ooh, I was going to do it that way. I won't do it that way now. Thank you. Or I've already done it and I didn't even know that there was another way to do it. Thank you. What? Hopefully these are the love bombs. I see somebody asking how many chapters in the first book. It's up to you. It's up to you. I've seen people write little tiny books with just a few little chapters. And then there's people who write 17,000 chapters. You write enough for what you need to say and for what you need to get into the hearts of the people who need it. So a book will tell you, how do I want to say it? It's almost like there'll be a revelation as you go through it for how many chapters it needs to be. So it all depends. It all depends. So the answer is, what's in it for me? Now, when you craft your soulmate reader, or crafting for your soulmate reader, I should say, it's about tailoring to your writing to your target audience and crafting for your soulmate reader, like I said. So what are your soulmate readers' demographics and their interests and their reading habits and challenges? What are your soulmate, excuse me, what is it that you so deeply need to say, so strongly need to put out into the world that they need to hear? So it's really, I said you put them first, but you can work side by side. You go like, I got something to say, and what do people need to hear? Let me write that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, good. All right. And then in the, I hope you all have seen, is this switching? I don't think this is switching. Hold on just a second. Let me get this to switch by doing something else. Hold, please. Hopefully that switched. There you have it. There was something else I was going to say about that, but I got taken off my track here. I got taken off by a question I saw. And now it's gone. Drop of Pearls. How many chapters? What's the best time and place to write? Wherever you feel most creative, wherever you have peace and quiet, I would strongly recommend that you write in a space that feels harmonious to you, that feels quiet so you can focus, and that devote time to write daily, weekly. You can go as fast as you want to go, as slow as you want to go, but don't go too slow, because we need to read your book. We need to hear your answers. We need to find we need you to share your solutions. So don't go too slow. And there are people, you've heard stories of people. Who was it that was a security guard at like a major movie studio here, and he wrote in his security booth. So he was checking the cars and, hello, so-and-so, and let the guard gate up for you. Hello, welcome. Let me see your ID. Go ahead and get it. And when no cars were there, he wrote his book. So it's up to you. I like to write quietly with no one else around and no distractions. He had a book and in his case, he had a screenplay to get out of his heart, and he wrote it while he was in his guard gate booth. So it's up to you, but find that time. And so what you have now is an opportunity. You have a choice. Did that click over yet? You have a choice right now. I've given you lots of little pearls and nuggets right now. And I've given you enough to get you started, right? Thinking about the person that you want to write for, really, that's a great place to start. We talked about your confidence and just, how to borrow confidence from other excellent areas of your life. If you have to borrow it, it's already there. Take it. Borrow from yourself. It's not stealing. You don't have to steal the confidence. You don't have to make it up. You have already been excellent at something. Go be excellent at this. I promise you. It's like if nothing else, it will give you the momentum that you need, and you'll gain the confidence as you go along, as you begin to see results, as you begin to see yourself going through it and getting it done. And you have a choice to be able to go off and do this yourself. You absolutely do. And I've given you, there was something, so we talked about confidence, we talked about finding your soulmate reader, and also about some of the tips and ways of getting it out of you, setting accountability for yourself. I also am a believer in working in a way that you are surrounded by support. And so I've got something really nice to share with you right now. Remember at the beginning, I said I was going to offer you something. I mean, this is what you do. You teach a masterclass and you present something that if somebody wants to go further, faster with support, I've got something really cool to share. Yes, it was Antoine Fisher. Thank you. It was Antoine Fisher. I think he was working as a security guard at one of these studios. And while he was checking people in, he was checking for himself and writing his screenplay. So let me go to the next slide here. Hang on, I'm switching. So you have two choices, two ways that you can be on the road. You can go to, can you see that? What we like to call the never write my book road. You can never write your book. It was very nice having you here. It's the first exit off. It was very nice. Phew, there you go. I'm never going to write my book. Thank you. Bye. I'm off to go get some snacks. So long. Or you can go to what I like to call bestseller highway. And bestseller highway is where we move fast and we stop for snacks because there's always snacks. But if I have been able to not only become a bestseller myself, by the way, these books this is traditional publishing. This is, I would say, hybrid publishing, self-publishing by the company the PR firm who, like I said, she published that for me. Or hybrid publishing. Wait, this one and this one is hybrid publishing, where I worked with a publisher and I retain the rights for these books. She helped me publish them. This is Ty Davis at Purposely Created Publishing, right? I did my books through her. Or self-publishing. I published this one myself through my own imprint. So this is the bestseller. All of these books are bestsellers, by the way. So that's why I'm going to take you on the bestseller highway. So save your questions for just a moment, because I want to share this with you. I want to share a really wonderful opportunity with you called the Right Plan Program. Ooh, the Right Plan Program. And this is the right plan, because it does take a plan to write your book. It's a unique book coaching and accountability program designed to help you navigate the path to successful authorship. In other words, I've already seen some of the pitfalls that we have. We've talked about some of the pitfalls tonight that authors have when preparing to write their book and wanting to write their book. And I created an opportunity where there's coaching and consulting and accountability so we stay on track. It's a 60-day program, and I'd like to share all of it with you right now. Did that switch? So I want you to imagine for a moment. Imagine with me, if you will. Imagine your dream of sharing your unique story with the world is no longer a dream. It's not a dream. It's actually a clear, actionable plan. I want you to imagine having a personal guide by your side, helping you to clarify your book idea, craft a powerful outline, and develop a manageable writing schedule that fits your own lifestyle. That person before who said, well, when do I write? Where do I write? You get to choose. I just help you plan it out. We do it together. I want you to imagine holding your book with pride and joy, touching and changing the lives of others. Just want you to imagine that for a moment. Some of you already have books, and some of you, this is your first time. This would be your first time. So you imagine all of that. And gosh, let me switch. You don't really have to imagine it anymore, because the opportunity is here for you right now. So let me just talk you through the right plan. The way I like to work with people is I really love one-on-one sessions, and I love hybrid, the one-on-one and the group experience. So if you say yes to the right plan now, this is what you get. You get a combination of me coaching you one-on-one and group experience as well. So the first thing I love to do with people, and you could do this at the very beginning to help you really hone in on your ideas, is what I call the ink to influence. It's an ink to influence one-on-one coaching session. And on that session, it's really designed to get your book idea really fleshed out, get the idea really out of you and brainstorm. One of my favorite things to do is to brainstorm with people. And by the way, everything that comes through me in my work, remember how I just told you just a second ago that Gladys Knight said, I don't warm up, I just sing. She doesn't have to warm up. It's already there. For me, ideas, when I sit and work with people, come through the divine. Her voice comes through the divine. The ideas come through the divine when I sit and work with you. And so anything that you share with me is all yours. These are your ideas. They become yours. If I say, what if you did so-and-so, you can take it and use it or not, but it belongs to you. I own nothing in this experience except owning the space, the privilege to watch you succeed. And so this is your session where we discover your captivating book idea and the ways to plan what I like to call a legacy platform. A book can be and should be a piece of your legacy. And so that's what that's about. We also will have weekly group writing accountability sessions. So every week, and this is for 60 days. So this is for 2 months. We will meet weekly to have jam sessions, to coach, to read each other's, what we're working on now. Really just come in the space and be a space of positivity and joy. I'll say positivity and possibilities. So we'll really share with each other what we're doing. And we can also use them as co-working spaces where you said, I don't have any time to write. Will you meet at Tuesday at 2 p.m. or whenever we do it, Tuesday at 9 p.m. or whenever we do it, Tuesday at 1 a.m. maybe that's you, we'll meet together and have these co-working sessions where I will be there with you to guide, to share ideas, and we will be loving on each other and holding each other accountable for the books that we are writing. Okay. We'll do something I like to call the story mining process, which I shared a little bit of it today. It's the process of mining your life for your rich experiences and finding the lessons that you want to teach, which is the next part of it. The story alchemy piece is combining the stories that you have and excavating all the stories and all the lessons, all the experiences, along with alchemizing them, like shifting them and changing them into the lessons and the wisdom that you want to share with the world. I love hearing it, and I love the I would say the improvisation of it, the creativity of putting this story with the lesson that you want to share with the world. And I can help illuminate that with you and for you. And that's what that process is. You'll actually craft the stories and lessons that will connect and compel your soulmate readers to transformation. Okay. The next part of this is the book alchemy plan, which, as I said to you, anybody who's registered for this, you will get an email with the book alchemy plan. Well, the first part of the book alchemy plan that I've created, and the first part is foundational, is what we're talking about tonight. And so we'll go even deeper with this in the program. And then you'll also get the other two pieces of this, which is finessing the plan and I forgot what the other F is. What's the other F? Getting it, finessing, finagling. I forget what the other F is, child. I said it earlier. Sip of water, hold please. Um, so getting that out into the world, really finishing. For now, I'll call it finished. That's not what it's called right now, but finishing it and getting it out into the world, which is the marketing and publishing piece. I love talking to and explaining to people what to expect, because what happened with my first book is I got 1 month of publicity, 1 month of marketing with my first traditional publisher. And I know it sounds really prestigious to be with a big company, but once your book is out in the world, it's up to you to keep it going. And so my next few books, I was like, I don't need to hustle to get a big publisher. I can publish it myself and put in place the marketing plan, the authority building plan, and I'll talk you through all of that, so you have a plan to publish your book. And who knows, if we're right fit, maybe I'll even be a publisher. Hot Coals Publishing. Flourish. Demita, I love you. Thank you. You remembered that? I love you. Thank you so much. It's flourish. It's how to make your book flourish. And just like I said earlier, there was somebody, really, thank you so much, Miss Jones. I appreciate you. Somebody said, oh, I've written 8 books on Amazon. I was like, okay, and that's great. And what you doing to get them out in the world? What are you doing to keep them out in the world, to keep them in people's faces? That's the flourish. I want you to flourish. I want you to flourish and nourish the world with your words. And we'll also really dive deeply into your soulmate reader profile, so that you'll know them so intimately that you'll be writing with them in mind. When they read this, they'll go, oh my goodness, this is for me. This is for me. Thank you. They'll be thanking you, and they become raving fans. And we'll stick with you with the next book and the next book and the next book. And we'll talk about we'll create a writing schedule. And I'll give you some of my best techniques. I'm not a gatekeeper. I stand at the gate and open the gate and go, come on in. This is for you. And so I'll share some of my best techniques along the way and customize it for you. So here we are at the right plan. And let's add this all up, shall we? So an Ink to Influence one-on-one coaching session with me, just one session with me, $3,000 and more. The longer we go, the more, right? But that's like $3,000 here. Weekly group writing accountability sessions for 60 days, that would be about $1,500. If I were to put together a group right now and just slap a price on it, it'd be $1,500 just to come and meet once a week just for that. The story mining process, what we talked about, which is really digging up and excavating your beautiful stories and life experiences that you want to share. The story alchemy process, each they're $9.97, of just that piece of just going, what stories do I tell? What's the lesson I want to turn? Put those together. Remember the Electric Company? Remember that show? Author. Remember that? That's what that is. And nothing I love better than piecing that together in that way. I don't like puzzles, but I like this. You'll also get a detailed book plan. The um, author alchemy. I'm sorry, the book alchemy plan, um, and all three of those elements for you. All the F's: flourish, finesse, and foundation. Thank you, Miss Jones. And the soulmate reader profile, which, by the way, is golden. It's golden because once you understand them, they will want to be understood by you, and they want even more of what you've got. So the total value there is $6,884, 6884. But oh, no, no, no. That's not the cost tonight. No, no, no. If all the right plan did for you was help you to get more clarity and focus and confident, what would that be worth? If all that the right plan did for you was to help you get your first draft completa, done, what would that be worth? You know, the book you've been talking about and thinking about and dreaming about and waking up in the middle of the night. If all the right plan did for you was get that done, what would that be worth? If all the right plan did for you was just help you take massive action, massive inspired action towards your desire to be a published author, well, what would that be worth? Well, it's all valued at 6884. Actually, I think the value is even more than that because getting your book out into the world is invaluable because we're waiting for you to write it. But if you register right now, all of this for $11.97. $11.97. And when you go to the page that we have for you, and we'll put that in the comments. Thank you. The idea to impact book.com/TWP, and TW stands for the right plan. When you go to the idea to impact.com/TWP, you'll see the offer page there. You'll see all the details there. And we actually have a to-pay option for you too. You register now, it's $11.97. So you're getting $6,884 worth of ideas and content and work and accountability and coaching and consulting and the lack of gatekeeping. You know what happens in these coaching sessions. You formulate these coaching containers, and then magic happens because the coaching for one person is exactly what someone else needs to hear. And one of the things I really pride myself on, and I did say pride, that's a big one. I do pride myself on, and I'm honored to say that I love creating safe spaces filled with people who are kind and loving and supportive, and the connections that get created in groups like this last long after the books come out. And so I'm inviting you to be a part of the right plan. I'm going to create a safe, beautiful container where you get to be free to come up with your ideas, to come up with your stories, and to be coached and coaxed into getting your words, getting your feelings, getting your experiences, getting your wisdom, getting your lessons out into the world. The world needs you now more than ever. Did you know that? Did you know that the idea would not have dropped into your heart if the world wasn't waiting for it to come out? And those of you who know me, you know I've said many, many times over and over again, one of my favorite phrases is that everything that has happened to you has happened for you. So what if, just like, maybe you don't believe me, but what if everything that has happened to you has actually happened for you? And who would you touch? Who would you inspire? How would you transform? How would you create change in the world? How would you create the ripple in the pond that is so desperately needed now, especially after what we've been through in the last few years and recent events? And y'all know what I'm talking about. We need more togetherness, more support, and more of you out in the world. So you can register for the right plan. And yes, it is a play on words. We're going to get the writing done, but it's the right plan for you because this idea has been in your heart and in your soul for so long. It's the right plan because people are waiting to hear what you have to say. And it's the right plan because one of the things I also will touch on, we'll dive into is how to turn this book into your empire. That's what the flourish is all about. Wink, wink. That's what that one-on-one session is with me. Wink, wink. I have ways of illuminating for you how the ideas in your book can become courses and more books and products and services and you coaching other people. Because remember, I said from the very beginning, it's not the book that'll make you rich. This is $24.99 or $24.95 or whatever the price is, right? That's not what makes you rich. It's how you use the book to enrich the rest of your author program. And if you take nothing, those of you who are already authors, if you take nothing with you, take that with you. It's about the book, but it's not about the book. It's about what's in it and how it will transform people and how you use this book to create a platform that helps you grow even more, that helps your words and your ideas exponentialize and create an even bigger impact. And so I'll take a little time to take some questions and would love to have you all join me. If you were called to come to this masterclass, then you are already called to be my kind of people. You're my soulmates. You're my soulmate people. Like you wouldn't be even called, you wouldn't even press the button if you weren't my soulmate kind of people. And if you were waiting for a sign, this is it. You've seen those memes before and you've heard people talk about people are waiting for the sign. They're waiting for the sign. They're waiting for the Lord. They're waiting for the sign. Wait, Jesus, tell me what to do. God, what Spirit, I'm waiting for the sign. The signs are around us all the time. This is your sign. If this is something that you have been called to do, interested in, would love, would be honored to work with you because you're my kind of people. All right. Let me switch. Let me see if there's another slide or two. There it is. Thank you. So that's it. So do we have any questions? I'm going to take a sip of water. You wish you knew this about your old publishing company went bankrupt and they took your money. I'm so sorry. Oh, yes, there is a payment plan. There is a 2-pay payment plan. When you go to that page, www.ideatoimpactbook.com, there's actually a 2-pay. I forget what it is. I think it's $625. 2-pay is $625. Okay. Do you think it's important to stay in one genre? No. If you've got the ideas, go for it. I mean, listen, in my case, I stayed in a genre. My genre was inspirational. In this case, these are all collaborative books. These are all, what do you call them? Yeah, a collaborative book. It was a genre that I chose to really put my stake in the ground on, that I wanted to use my platform to help other people build their platform. So the genre of collaborative books, co-authoring, all of us together, standing together as one in one book. My first book was a book that was a comedy. I'm Free, But It'll Cost You, was part autobiographical. Some of it's made up. And it's comedy, I'm Free, But It'll Cost You, The Single Life According to Kim Cole. So that was my first book, semi-autobiographical, but really humorous. I would say it's up to you. If you want to establish a foothold in a particular genre and then jump over and do something else, go for it. Go for it. Why? If the idea is in you, why? I say yes. So I could write a book in one day. Just kidding. If you could write a book in one day, go do it. Go do it. Go to it and get to it. The purchase portions of the plan, use it. Yeah, it has to be done in order. Because here's the thing. It's called a plan because I've created a pathway for you. I've created a journey for you that is the best journey. So we're going to get clear on your confidence, get clear on who your people are, and establish accountability for you. So I've established this for you because I think that it's the right plan. That's why I named it. I want to thank everyone so much for coming to the Dream to Draft Masterclass. Super excited that you all were here. You all know already that if you registered for this, you will get the book Alchemy plan, and it's the part one. It's all that we're doing right now. This is just the tip of the iceberg on how to get started on writing a book. But I've given you quite a bit to get started. Don't let this just be a masterclass that you attended and then that was it. That's how I spent my evening. I spent my evening with Kim Coles. Like, really check this out. You'll also be able to watch the replay of this because StreamYard will send out the replay. If you've registered, then you will receive that very easy. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you being here. Would love to have you join me on the right plan so that we can work together and get your right words out into the hearts and minds and experience of all the right people. All right. I know somebody wants me to say woo, woo, woo. So I'll say it. Woo, woo, woo. And thanks for being here. The right plan is available. Come on and do it. I'm ready. And we start very soon. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good night, everybody.